Okay, welcome. This is an example of what we'll be making today. It is some sort of, it's like if a skyscraper collided with a satellite and it made this cubic thing that's really hard to describe. This is just an exercise in the Extrusion tool with Cinema 4D. So let's get going. To begin, we're going to make a new file. Go to the File menu, choose New. You'll notice in this video I actually have the mouse clicks turned on. So when I click on things, a little circle will pop up. So I'm curious your opinion of that. We're going to go ahead and create a cube, which is right here. And so yeah, how are we going to turn this cube into that little satellite thing? There's a few steps to set this up. Edgar, can you shut the door for me, please? Thank you. My last students of the day leaving. So in order to set this up, I'm going to click on Cube here, and we're going to make sure that the lines are displayed. Right now, we're not seeing lines. You see an orange line, but there should be like lines on these edges. So we're gonna go to Display. And then this second option, Gurad shading lines. And then you'll see little black lines pop up. Okay. From there, now we're going to look. I'm going to click on the cube here. And we have to be in the Object menu down here on the right. And I'm going to split up this cube into into 9 little cubes, I guess. So we're going to do that by segmenting the cube. So along the X, Y, and Z axis, we're going to split this up into 3 segments. So I'll turn those up and those up. And if you don't see this object menu, you got to click on the cube, make sure the object is selected. Okay, awesome. Next thing we're going to do is make this editable. And what I mean by editable is that right now we're kind of limited to the shapes that we can make with this object, and we could basically make different kinds of squares and different shapes of rectangles. When you make something editable, you can do much more than that. So I'm going to click here is the editable button. It's right underneath the back button, back arrow for undo. So I'll click on the edit button. That now grays it out. And then after you click on the editable button, you're going to click on the polygon button, which will switch us from model mode to polygon mode. Previously, you've only used model mode, and that let you like scale things, move the whole model. But for this, we are only going to deal with individual polygons, and we made those polygons when we split up the cube and made it editable. Okay, so let's go to the polygon mode, and when you click on that, now when I hover over these polygons, they highlight, and it also turns blue, the outline. Okay, so from here, we are going to choose, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, so I'm going to grab this zoom, click and drag in, or up, I should say. Okay, now I will start at the top, like so. Move this down. Okay, I'm going to click on the D key on my keyboard. That is D as in Deborah, D as in dog. Hit the D key, and you'll notice your cursor will change in what is called the Extrude tool. The Extrude tool lets you extrude, and I will show you just by clicking and dragging where you see the white. Click and drag to the right to extrude up. Click and drag to the left to extrude down. Okay, so I'll drag this up a little bit. And now I have this little kind of cube on top of my cube. And if I rotate around, you can kind of see how that looks. Okay, awesome. That was easy. Next thing I want to do is show you like ways that you can mess up an extrusion. For example, I'll click here on this polygon. And what I noticed today, because I did this 7 times, I noticed a lot of people would drag on this little tiny cube. When you do that, it does more of a belly dance. So the belly dance is fine, and there's a lot of great uses for this, but we don't want the belly dance for this. We're just moving things with the extrude tool And in order to do that, you have to click and drag while you see white. So if I were to like drag on the blue arrow, it also does kind of a belly dance thing. If you drag on the cube, remember, belly dance, don't want that. You're going to wait till you get outside the cube. So anywhere in this area, I can click and drag to the right. I'll extrude that up. Okay. And I'll grab one on the side while I'm here and click and drag this out. Whoops. Okay, so notice like even though I clicked here, because this was selected, it extruded here. So like you might think, oh, I'll drag on this, but it's still going to extrude there. You have to actually like select first, then click and drag. And I'll go in this time. Okay, awesome. So that's a regular extrusion with the D key. The next option you have is an inner extrusion. So what an inner extrusion is going to do is, I'll hit the I key to get that. So the I as in Isaac, I as in in. So yeah, hit the I key, and then you can click to select a polygon, then wait till it's highlighted white, and then click and drag to the left or right to do an inner extrusion. So why would I want to do an inner extrusion? Well, I'm going to go to the left to make the smaller square. And now what's happened is it's divided this polygon into 5 polygons. A square, and then these 4, you know, not parallelograms. Yeah, I should know my geometry better. Here we go, especially if you're going to teach 3D, right, Z-Barth? I'm going to switch now to the D key. So now that I've done an inner extrusion, I'll hit D, and then click and drag to the right. So that makes like a little bump here. Now you can get fancy. Hit the I key to go to inner extrusion. Drag that in. Okay. Now hit D, and then click and drag this to the right. Or down if you want to make like a little chimney. So you can either like keep going to make a kind of a skyscraper object. So I'll switch to the I. Do an inner extrusion. D to drag to the right. So that's how you extrude things. And I keep going up, but at any time you can like grab one of these guys and go out, and then maybe rotate and grab the left side or the right side here. Drag this way. So you can kind of get an idea of what I'm looking for. Other options are something like a ziggurat. So I'll do an inner extrusion. Whoops. Go in, hit the D key, drag to the right. I key, drag to the left, and so on and so forth until you realize like, hey, architect, I can do this. Yep, I agree, you can do this. That's all I have to say about that. So this should be good. I want you to like basically pull out things on almost every polygon here. Make something crazy, make something wild. And I'll show you my other example. Let's see, extruded cube. So I did something like this. Let's talk about lights. Notice I've got some lights on here. We've got shadows. And most of that is due to this physical sky here. So let's talk about physical sky. Go back to my cube. While you're here, you might as well save your project. File, save. Call it Extrude Cube if you want. Okay. And I forget what I was doing. Oh, sky. Okay. Lights are in here under the light bulb. Sky is under the floor. So we're going to click and hold on the floor. Previously, we just did like a plain flat colored sky with the sky option. We're going to choose physical sky. This lets you add like clouds and stuff. So yeah, kind of cool. Make a physical sky. I'm going to zoom out. And what does this look like? Let's hit play to render. What I think is happening is the light, the sky that it made, the sun that it's using is actually kind of in the background here. So I'm going to click on physical sky, use the rotate button to rotate, and you'll notice my light source moving to the right. Now it should come around the front. So yeah, that's lighting that up a little bit better. I'm going to choose a more above angle. Let's say I need to move the whole model, like everything up. I need to go to the model mode, right? Because if I click on polygons and then grab the move tool, it's only going to want to move like one polygon at a time. So we're going to click on model. And then, wait, hang on. I'm trying to drag the sky. Click cube. You want to be in model mode. And then you can move it up. Although I don't know why I was showing you that. Here we go. Another cool thing about the physical sky. Let's see how it lights. Oh, much better. I could tell it what time. So click on physical sky. Right now it is high noon. And it is actually February 2018. You could go back, and I just happen to, let's say I want to relive my firstborn's birth here. January 2011. He was born at like 2 in the morning. So we're going to go to, I'm just going to type in the number 2 to time. And now it gives me stars and a dark sky. If I render this, you'll see a starry sky with a kind of a silhouette. But now what I want to do is make like a second light. And right now that light is in the cube. So I'll move this out. Something like that. And now you got this little satellite floating in space. After you've lit the scene, it could be nighttime or it could be daytime, I don't mind. You want to create a material. So create a new material. And we're going to add a color to it. And you always start by adding a hue, which is this first slider. Then turn up the saturation. It's still totally unsaturated, so we're going to go up a little bit. Change the value if you want. And now you can drag this material. Oh, that's the light color. Whoops. Material, double click. Sorry. Ask me if I confused you with that one. Color. I keep turning on the lights. There we go. Now you drag the material and drop it on the cube. If you just drop it here, well, because I'm in model mode, it'll do the whole model. But if you're in the polygon mode and you try and click and drag, it might just do one polygon at a time. And I've got some other things I messed up on, but remember, make a new material, create new material, and then drag and drop it up here. So sorry, things got kind of messed up at the end. Just make sure that you are turning in a rendered view. Maybe zoom in a little bit. So we'll click and drag in, click and drag on my move camera, render that. Okay, I want to see more extrusions, but that gives you a good start. And thank you for watching.